one thing I have to say, no matter where they are, it gets a reaction, and it usually gets the biggest reaction of the night, and that was clearly the case last night in Pittsburgh. And speaking of Jey Uso, like, let's get into that segment. And I guess we got to do it piecemeal with Gunther, and starting with the Goldberg video package. And they did a good job, I thought, with that video package last night. A much better result than what we got with the sit down with Goldberg last week.
And I want to stop you right there before we go any farther, because I almost picked up my Twitter machine last night and sent out a tweet, but I'll ask you, and we can throw it out there to the nation if they want to respond on social media, or if we do take any calls today. Did the Goldberg video package make you want to see Goldberg versus Gunther anymore?
For me, no. For me, no. I might be.
Are you so checked out on the match that not even a strong package like that could get you like okay, maybe.
You know, and here's why. Because I was listening to Tommy. Tommy said it got him excited for the match. For me, it kind of reminded me that these moments are from 25 years ago.
And can he actually recreate these moments?
That's like the big question mark, because I would say 95% of that package was Goldberg from 25, 26, 27 years ago. You know, again, the Goldberg that we have seen lately, when I seen lately, I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Not exactly the Goldberg that we remember from the late 90s, early 2000s. Now, I hope he has an amazing showing at Saturday night's main event. I'm not looking for something negative or looking for a bad match. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But that, to me, that package was more of a reminder that you're talking about somebody whose heyday was back in 98, 99. And then Gunther in his promo said, hey, yeah, those matches, yeah, it was about as long as the package, which is around 3 minutes. Because if you remember, in his heyday, Goldberg didn't wrestle longer than 3 minutes. And when he came back, he doesn't wrestle in more than 4 or 5 minutes. That's Goldberg's sweet spot. Now, you can make the argument that WCW was trying to make him look like Mike Tyson, where he's just coming in and winning right away. But I think more of the truth and reality, Bully, is that they were trying to protect Goldberg because he really couldn't go much longer than 3 or 4 minutes in a match.
You would be surprised as to how many wrestlers from back in the day were protected. Guys that we hold in very high esteem, that I got to witness with my own eyes and ears and go, wow, this person was well protected, insulated, so that the flaws, the negatives, were never seen. The Goldberg story, and we like Bill. Bill's a good dude. Despite him listening to his stupid producer on that podcast and talking that stupid shit that he did 2 weeks ago. We like Bill. Appreciate him. I can appreciate him for his honesty on Busted Open, and I can appreciate him for his level of intensity and truly trying all the time. I have high hopes for the match, whether it's 3 minutes or whether it's 30 minutes. And where do my high hopes lie, Dave? In Gunther.
Yep.
In Gunther. And I'll tell you what, I'll pull back the curtain a little bit here. I don't give a shit who gets mad at me. I saw Gunther last week down at the PC. And I said, good luck, brother. Hope you have a great match. If anybody can get what you need out of Bill, it's you. And Gunther told me he was looking forward to the match. He was looking forward to it because he's looking at it as a challenge, both in ring and outside of the ring. The challenge of being able to get a good match out of Bill Goldberg. So like I was going back, let me go back to my thought. 3 minutes or 30 minutes, I don't care what it is, as long as it's entertaining. The Ramones did 3-minute songs, but I'll be damned if the Ramones weren't entertaining. You love those songs. They didn't have to write American Pie or Scenes from an Italian Restaurant or Born to Run. The Ramones, 1, 2, 3, 4, get in, get on, get off, get out. And we've seen Bill in those situations, and they have worked.
Yes.
If I would have told you you're getting Bill Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, it's going 3 minutes, and you're gonna pop and jump out of your seat, you'd be like, no way. But they made it work because of Brock. Brock knew exactly what to do with Bill to make Bill look like $1 million. That's the level of faith I have in Gunther. I really hope that we get something. And listen, if it doesn't go well, we always talk about it's both wrestlers' fault, both men's fault, both women's fault, whatever. If it doesn't go well, it's most likely going to be on Bill for whatever reason. That's how much the high hopes I have for Gunther. And that's how much respect. What's the word I'm looking for? How much
faith.
Faith. Got it? Freaking word is tattooed on my arm, and I couldn't come up with it. That's how much faith I have in Gunther.
And I can understand that. And if there's anybody, like you said, that could do it, it's Gunther. I think more of the problems that we've had, and we've been very vocal about it, going back to Bill's guest spot on some podcast where he took, typical one line from an entire segment and ran with it, which obviously you shouldn't do, and he made a mistake by doing that. But our problem mostly was obviously not with Bill, but it's with the creative. We thought there could have been 100 different ways creatively they could have come to this match other than the way that they did. But that's the way it is, and we got the match. So now we have to judge the match for what it is on Saturday night's main event. And we're closing in on, a week and a half away from that match.
Dave, Live Nation, the big concert promoters, who are they throwing all their money at these days? Which bands?
Well, usually probably right now, probably I would think of like a Taylor Swift or somebody like that.
Oh, okay, but I was talking about like from rock and roll. They still throw money at Metallica.
Oh,
they
yeah,
still
the older bands.
All the older bands, because none of the younger bands are getting it done.
But this, all right.
So I could see why the WWE would want to bring in a Goldberg for this match.
I don't. And this is where you and I are going to differ in opinion. I don't believe that. Now, if you want to have that discussion when it comes to music, you and I can have that discussion all day. But when it comes to the WWE, I don't think that's a valid discussion anymore. I think the WWE has done a phenomenal job the last 5 years of closing the book on the returning legends and relying on the roster that they have right now.
I'm not talking about them relying on the older talents like they used to. But I can understand why Live Nation throws money at the Rolling Stones, just like I can understand why the WWE is giving Bill this spot on national television, and he's the only guy on the poster.
I see, that bothers me.
Why?
Bully, it bothers me because I feel like right now the WWE doesn't need it. You said the music scene does. The summer concert series does. Yes, because there's not many younger bands that could fill a stadium, if at all. That is not the case with the WWE right now. They're selling out every night. They are playing to stadiums now. I don't think it's necessary to bring Goldberg back.
Would you think that a guy like Goldberg is still as over or more over than 90% of the WWE roster?
I don't think that's true.
I do. I still think that, and obviously the WWE agrees. Obviously TKO agrees, because they are making him the focal point of this Saturday night's main event. They think there's enough juice left in Bill to generate enough interest for this Saturday night's main event and put him on the poster and build it around him.
They are. And that's why, like, my argument, like you always say, if this was in front of a jury, you're winning every day because all the evidence is stacked against what I'm saying, but I truly believe in what I'm saying. I don't think it was necessary. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Maybe this outcome at Saturday night's main event is going to lead to something with Gunther that maybe they couldn't have done if they didn't have Goldberg make this appearance. And maybe we're looking at it completely different once we get past Saturday night's main event. But right now, I just don't understand the need to do it. And I don't think it's necessary.
I don't understand how you're not understanding why they would do it. Bill still has a name. Bill still looks great. They're not concerned about the match. That's why they're putting him in there with Gunther. They understand that a lot of, Bill's last 5 outings haven't been, 5-star bangers. That's not the point. With the whole thing with Bill is about the spectacle, the entrance, the show. What happens from bell to bell, they will do their absolute damnedest to keep the spotlight on what Bill does well and what Gunther can get out of him. It's like, okay, let's write on paper what Bill does well. We have 1, 2, 3. Let's just say there's three things that we're relying on from Bill to do. Now they go, all right, we'd love to get 4 and 5. Can Gunther get that out of him effectively, make sense, without Bill being in a position where he can not make himself or Gunther look good? It's not about the match. It's about the buildup to the match. It's about the package that they put together last night. They're hopeful. I'm not even going to say hopeful. I think that they are confident that Gunther gets a good match out of Goldberg. What Gunther needs to do is keep Bill in control and not let Bill be Bill Goldberg, where he blows himself up mentally, psychs himself out, rams his head into a freaking piece of steel or
which
whatever.
Which we've seen him do before.
Correct.
And now you're talking about a guy that has not been in the ring in 3 years, and he's in front of that hot Atlanta crowd. It's gonna be very difficult to keep that man in check.
That mother trucker is intense. He wants to be able to go out there and perform like the Bill Goldberg of 25 years ago. Mentally, he's going to be Bill from back in the day. This is where Bill has to remember, okay, here's what I can do well. Stay in control. Eye on the prize. Here's the psychology. Here's the business of the match. He can't just go crazy, bull in a china shop, and then everything falls to shit. That's why he's in there with Gunther. I think Gunther can keep this guy under control. And if I had to bet $1, I said Gunther's the guy to get a good match out of Bill.
Now, and maybe this is a terrible analogy, but, we've talked to Ric Flair, where Ric Flair talked about his final match in the WWE at WrestleMania 24 against Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels ran that match. Ric Flair just followed Shawn Michaels' lead, where, hey, this is Ric Flair, the greatest of all time, kind of humbling himself, knowing that, hey, where I am in my career, this guy Shawn Michaels, I'm just gonna follow whatever he does. Is that the same situation here? Is like Goldberg gonna have to say to himself, like, you know what? I know I was on the top of the mountain back in the day in WCW, but Gunther's the world champion right now. He's the guy. I'm gonna follow his lead at Saturday night's main event.
I have never heard from my fellow wrestlers, or have I heard from promoters or bookers or anybody ever that Bill was the leader in the match.
Okay. I
don't know how Bill could be a leader in the match. Bill did, even though Bill had, from day one, Bill's matches were very controlled. 3-minute, quick, intense matches. And then when Bill had to have real matches, that's when things got a little wonky. And I think if you put Bill in there and you left him as the leader of the match, I don't think that gives the match the greatest opportunity to succeed. I think Gunther is the guy to calm him down, who can take the stuff that Bill wants to do, who can give it back to him, who can chop him down, beat him down. I would love to see Goldberg in a situation in his adopted hometown, down at the knees of Gunther. So those people are chanting, Goldberg, Goldberg, where you want to see the guy get up and blow that comeback.
Now, the one thing that the advantage that they have for that match, Bully, is that it is in Atlanta.
Correct.
Like, the crowd is going to be 100% behind Goldberg. I don't know if that would have been the case if that was anywhere else, but it's definitely going to be the case in Atlanta. So you're not going to have to worry about the fans hijacking that match, which we have seen in some of Goldberg's later matches.
I don't think that the fans will be very accommodating if things go wrong in the match. And things should not go wrong in the match. If this was me, if I was the guy working with Goldberg, I would sit down and be very adamant with him about the expectations of the match. Like, hey man, this is all about you. And it's all about Bill until the finish. Let's just assume the finish is Gunther is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about Bill into the finish. I'm like, Bill, whatever I can do to make you look good in a controlled, comfortable, safe, effective way, let's do it. I got you, brother. Keep yourself under control. Don't work outside of yourself. Don't go buck wild and crazy. Don't throw 100 miles an hour and hit me in the head. Throw for strikes. And it's all about you. And then we'll do something where I cheat to win and beat you, and then, or whatever it's going to be. And then I can always say, moving forward, I beat Bill Goldberg, and you can have your final match in your hometown, in front of your fans, your family, your fellow football players, whatever it was, and everybody wins. That's how I would handle it. This can't be like, well, Bill wants to do this, and Bill wants to do this. No. What we need to do is good business. What's the business of the match? Bill's coming back for the night. We're trying to generate some interest. Can Bill win the championship again? What kind of fight will it be against Gunther? I'm more confident than most are. And you know what? If the match sucks, I'll come on here next Monday and I'll be like, I was wrong.
Hard out, 10 o'clock, Saturday night's main event. It's over at 10 p.m. Eastern time. What time does Goldberg and Gunther hit the ring on Saturday?
Man, I would...
It's got to be your main event, right?
I would love to see the segment be given a half hour. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Saturday night's main event going off the air with Seth Rollins as your World Heavyweight Champion.